This body of work is probably a lot more personal, I guess. There's paintings in this show that I've wanted to make probably for 20 years. I've always been interested in like a painting in a painting in a painting rather than just giving you kind of one line or one image. I'm Dale Lewis. Welcome to the exhibition Lost Illusions at Dale Santee Gallery. The title Lost Illusions, it was to do with the state that the practice was in, I think, at the time. And a lot of personal things that are happening, also things in the UK or wider society. I thought about permanently or temporarily giving up painting and becoming maybe a gardener, something that I'm very passionate and interested in. And I started horticultural college studying professional gardening. It was the first time I've been in a classroom, probably 25, nearly 30 years. It's about a plant being kind of cared for and nurtured, and about patience and time. And this reflects back to the school environment. You know, people need a different pace, or some people are ahead of others or behind. I based the head of the figure on the image of Kurt Cobain. I was a big Nirvana fan at the time. I started horticultural college in September, and I realised right away that I didn't want to be a gardener. I had to go back to painting. Got back to the studio and I thought, I'm just going to make this work for myself. When I come into the studio and shut the door, it's like this is the whole world. All the noise and chaos and stuff that goes on, that doesn't exist anymore. And you can be wherever you want to be here. It's to do with the RSPB surveys, where you sit in your garden for 1 hour at a time and you count the amount of birds that visit during that window. I simply titled it Japan. So this is like the Japanese robin. It has this incredible pink breast and really dark head and wings. I'd seen this sculpture of Saint Sebastian, so this was an image that I'd had on my phone that I'd taken in the museum. And Saint Sebastian was this kind of gay reference to like suffering and this divine kind of death. Colours look kind of random, but they're quite intentional. So the blue to me represents tears. So I kind of placed it kind of close to the head, I guess. And the yellow is kind of like urine. And then you have this washed out blood and this kind of orange for a vomit. So here at the bottom of the painting, you kind of have these small bottles of wine or miniature bottles of whiskey or something that you're crashing into. So it's a painting about trying and failing and trying and failing. So this is a hotel about the protests that were going on. Like at the time last summer, there was this migrant that attacked this teenager, and it sparked this protest around the town. And it was around Christmas time, and it just put a Christmas tree up. So I thought this is a brilliant kind of format to hang this kind of story on the tree. So I dragged the canvas outside of the studio, and I got some dinner plates in the kitchen, some mugs and coasters. And I kind of place these circles spray painted around them, so you get these like orbs or balls. So here you have the mugshot of the person, you know, that was arrested. Here you have Gemma Collins, the reality TV star, The Only Way is Essex. It kind of encapsulates the kind of chaos and the noise and everybody kind of shouting, but no one's kind of really listening to each other. So the plot is purposely small because it's this idea of hanging more stuff on something, this kind of pressure cooker of people and society, and the more you put on it, the more kind of unstable it becomes. It's like a crossover with landscape and a diagram and a figure. The story behind it really is, it was a family friend that died last year, so I was thinking about her at the same time, you know, I was at college, and we were studying layers of rock and soil. You've got stenciled fern leaves that were cut from Epping Forest and from my garden. So I'd take those to the studio and spray paint them. Being in nature and thinking about nature a lot more and observing nature, and since studying gardening, I'd look at the world in a different way. Everything in this painting is extinct in the British Isles. This is the black-veined white butterfly. You have this Essex emerald moth, the European lynx that used to be in the UK, lesser spotted woodpecker. These are all kind of daytime pollinators and the butterflies and the flowers, and then here you have the evening moth and all things kind of that happening at night. It's another one of the new smaller paintings. It gives more attention to what's underground than what's above ground. It's one of three very similar looking works that are in the exhibition based on butterflies and moths. It references like blue collar workers and, people doing a 12-hour shift coming home and their husband and wife and going out and doing a 12-hour shift. One does the day shift, one does the night shift. In each picture, they've got their antennas crossing in a kiss. I want to go to the studio and to have a sense of surprise and, find out something. It references the Shroud of Turin. It's a painting I made the day my grandfather died in June last year. It's like one of those novelty things you can buy, or you can send an image and, get your face printed on a mug and sent back to you. After he died, we kind of put this blanket over him. It's kind of like a story of his life. It's a really good way of attaching stories from people's lives into one kind of picture. This represents something kind of hard and heavy and cold or industrial, hitting something that's very fragile or very delicate or very tender. It's a memory that I had of when I was a kid, like in my bedroom in Essex. There was an operation like Raise the Flags going on throughout the UK. Because the flat was kind of damp, like the wallpaper would kind of peel off. I wanted to use the colour of mould, so you've got this green and white and black. It's a painting that I wanted to make for quite a long time. You'll see them often like around London. It's normally where somebody has been riding a bike and has been knocked off it and killed. So it acts as a kind of memorial to them. I picked some twigs from the garden, spray painted through those to kind of create this kind of structure of a bouquet, and painted the dahlias on top. A lot of the work in the painting is things that have happened at the time when the work was made, and some of the things are very personal, but some things are a lot more broad, and some things are historical, and some things have happened very recently. So it's just about allowing yourself to be in the moment and the time, and those things that come through kind of strong enough, like end up as works and end up on the wall. With these new paintings, it's really going back to the beginning of painting, but also going back to that beginning of yourself. These kind of moments of awakening or of realizing things and trying to start to put together like who you are. And it's very much like composing a painting.